And as we check the newswire, a talented shoe executive is a hero in Jacksonville, now the 30th city with an NFL team. Wayne Weaver, head of the ownership group, apparently impressed the NFL with his background and his handling of the Jacksonville bid. With Weaver leading the dark horse candidate to victory, the city's winning bid was startling news most everywhere, including Jacksonville. The city immediately celebrated the birth of what is now its only pro team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Other factors also impressed the league: the city's past support of WFL and USFL franchises and the economic growth of the region. And just in time for Christmas, factories down in Jacksonville were ready to provide every man, woman, and child a Jaguar t-shirt. The NFL is now expecting another boom in merchandise sales. It was only last month that the league selected Charlotte as an expansion site and already expected that the sales of the Carolina Panther apparel will reach $50 million this year. For more news and views, here's Chris with Gary Myers.
All right, Lenny, thank you very much. Gary, I have to say congratulations. You said it would be Jacksonville, and indeed it was Jacksonville. Now, there was some idiot a while back that said St. Louis was a mortal lock. I don't know who it was. What happened to the St. Louis group? They were supposed to get a team.
Well, Chris, I think a few things worked against St. Louis here. One, there was a feeling around the league that there was a lot of apathy in St. Louis about bringing back an NFL franchise. There was a lot of confusion among the ownership group the last couple of months, and there was a lot of confusion about the lease to the Dome Stadium in St. Louis. At the same time, I think Jacksonville really benefited from the overwhelming reaction in the Carolinas after Charlotte got a franchise. The league really believed the Southeast was a growing, hot market of the country. Jacksonville is a football-only area, the only game in town, and I think all those factors combined gave the team to Jacksonville.
All right, well, now we have three very frustrated expansion hopefuls. Are we going to see existing NFL franchises begin to move?
Yeah, I think we could be entering the era of free agent franchises, and the one that comes to mind are the Patriots going to move to St. Louis. James Orthwein, the Patriots owner, has an agreement with the league that he would not move the team without approval from the league, and I think his first priority really is to try to sell the team and keep it in the Boston area.
All right, they won't start play until 1995, the expansion teams, but I know they have to be looking for head coaches.
Yeah, and the name of Joe Gibbs has come up already down the Carolinas. He's from that area. His NASCAR racing team is based in Charlotte. And Mike McCormick, the Panthers general manager, has already contacted the Redskins to inquire about Gibbs' contract situation. He had 2 years to go on his contract when he left the Redskins, and now the question is, will the Redskins let him go? Do they want compensation in the form of draft choices to let him go? Do they have any right to demand draft choice compensation? And maybe even the bigger question, Chris, is whether Joe Gibbs wants to coach again at all.
I think the biggest question of all was what happened with the whole Leon Lett situation. What a disaster for that young man. What was the fallout?
Well, the fallout really was that Jimmy Johnson was concerned enough about Leon Lett after seeing him cry in the locker room after that game that Friday he called him at home in Dallas and said, listen, don't worry about being cut. You're one of my guys. As long as I'm the coach of this team and you're healthy and you have a contract, you will be a Dallas Cowboy.
Was that some kind of a double standard for Jimmy Johnson, though? Because I remember Curvin Richards a couple of years ago, or last year, fumbled twice in a meaningless game and got cut, but not so for Leon Lett.
Yeah, Johnson says he doesn't have a double standard. He has a 53-man standard that he treats every player differently depending on who they are. If it was a lesser player than Leon Lett who made that mistake, he might have cut him.
It's the way it works in the National Football League.
It's old business.
I'm glad I can't get cut from the pick segment. I'll catch you later there.